Welcome back, Bellas. Hi, Twinsy.
Hi.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien.
Yeah?
Bien, un poco cansada. Like, just my back hurts, but what's new?
I know. Me too. I actually feel like a tractor ran over me. But I was so excited to wake up today because we have a very special guest. Mm-hmm. Her name is Cynthia.
I'm excited about this.
I found her on Instagram and I reached out to her because her story just screams woman empowerment, screams that she's embracing everything that she went through. We've gotten the request for this subject.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. So
because it's something very important that we need to talk about, and we need to, I feel like we've covered some of the very difficult ones. I mean, they all are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I feel like this one, it's fine. It's time that we had this topic.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. It's okay. It's early in the morning. It's okay.
Yes.
So I want to give a warm welcome and say hello to Cynthia.
Hi.
Hola, Bella. Oh my God, girl. So we are so excited to have you. I saw your story.
I'm excited.
Yes, I saw a little bit of your story on Instagram, and I want to learn so much more. I'm coming from a place that I am very ignorant to the subject. And so I want to be able to understand it, and also for you to be able to empower others through your story. So, girl, let us know, what's going on. And for everybody that's listening, I'm so sorry. I'm kind of going around in circles, but we are talking about domestic violence today. And Cynthia has an amazing story to tell.
Yes, and that's pretty much my goal. That's why I created that Instagram page, so that I can be able to reach out to others who are going through similar situations. And, it's kind of out there. It's not anything that's hidden. And the more you share if you share your story and it's out there, other people won't be afraid to share it as well. And it'll make them feel better, It's such a common situation that, a lot of men and women go through.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And Cynthia, before we even continue, before I forget, can you please let everybody know what your Instagram handle is? That way, if they want to find you, they can.
Yes, I'm on Instagram at SSW Cynthia. It pretty much stands for Staying Strong with Cynthia.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Oh, my God. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, girl. So I know that you were in it for 18 years. Can you tell us, at the beginning of the relationship, were there any red flags now looking back, or is it a change that happened once you were already in the relationship?
It's very hard because, I was 14 years old when I got with him.
Wow.
I got pregnant at 15, had my child at 16, my first child. And the red flags were there in the sense that he was just always, he was very controlling. I couldn't speak to his family. I couldn't speak to his sister. There was always something bad about somebody that I spoke to, why I should stay away from them. But that's me, as just trying to be obedient and trying to make it work, I just always went along with whatever he wanted. I didn't speak to my family for 12 years either.
Oh my God.
He kept you away from your family.
Yeah, it was just, I was super isolated, super controlling. But I was so in denial about it back then.
Sorry, Cynthia, to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
So this started ever since you were 14? Like that behavior started right away?
After having my son.
Oh.
And did he say why? Why you needed to stay away from your family, or what? Stay away
from his family?
Or
because they didn't want him. They saw the red flags to begin with, and they were against us being together.
Oh.
So because they were against us being together, it made him upset and held a grudge, couldn't get over it.
Wow.
And anytime I did want to speak to them, it was always like, well, why do you want to talk to them? They're not even, because I'm not adopted, but, I just, I was raised by my aunt, my uncle, and my grandma.
You were raised
they're
by
the ones
family.
I call my parents. Yeah. And so, like, they're not even, like, your real parents and this and that, so they don't even love you, and that's why they don't care. Like, he'd always just have something negative to say about everybody I spoke to, my family and everything. So I just, to keep the peace between us, I would listen to him.
Wow.
And
that's very controlling.
Yes.
And she was a baby.
Yeah. So
I was
you were
intentional about everything.
you were easily manipulated because you were a kid.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Cynthia. Okay.
So I had to shut down all my friends too, and it was just like it was just him and my kid. That's it.
Wow. What, if I may ask, what were the red flags that your family would see and tell you about it? How would they tell you about the red flags? Or
their thing was that he seemed like he was just everywhere. He was unstable. He didn't. He had his goals, but then wouldn't really work on them. He would just talk about it. He was just always he was always a hustler, is what you would call it, I guess. Now he calls himself an entrepreneur, but I mean, really, he's just kind of everywhere. He's a hustler. It is what it is. And he's just always been that way. So they're like, you're going to be the kind of person when you get older, it's going to be where you're going to be the one paying for everything. And I was, for years, I was the main provider. I was the one who always went to work. I graduated high school. Luckily, he let me finish high school, right? But I finished high school, but I was working at the same time. And I was the breadwinner. And it was always like, well, Cynthia, how much did you get so that I could try to invest it? And so I'd give him my check so that he could invest it. And if he lost, we both lost. So it was like a cycle of this for so many years, and I'm like, this is not going anywhere.
How was your living situation? I mean, like, if he was
hard.
taking your checks.
Yeah, it was, for many years, we were living with his family. We were living, like, with his mom, and if we moved out, like, out of state, we'd end up at a studio, like, the four of us. By then, I already had my other son, and it was always like that. I'm like, or all of a sudden we were just so unstable. We were everywhere.
Wow.
We'd be in and out of the parents, in and out of a studio here and there. We ended up at hotels quite a few times. It was just, and I was like, I don't see a difference. It's just the same cycle over and over and over again. So once I started actually verbally defending myself when it came to, like, well, I don't see, a difference. I don't see a change. You know what? I wanted to start seeing something else where I'm like, maybe this isn't working. And it started triggering him more when it came to, then he would belittle me for years and compare me to other women. So I just had no say. I had no say in the relationship, or not even as a mom.
So you never had a voice?
No.
When you guys were living when you guys were living with his mom, like, would he tell you not to talk to his mom too?
Yeah, that's what she said at the beginning.
No, so I speak to her, but it was still, because we lived there, like, it was fine.
Right.
But even so, even like that, he'd be like, stop listening to my mom, stop listening to my sister. You keep going that route, you're gonna end up single.
Oh my gosh.
And your parents are your kids are gonna be fatherless.
Wow.
So he'd always, like, try to threaten me or something, Yeah.
He sounds like a 10.
Oh my goodness.
But hold on before we even move any further. But see, this is the part where usually, like I said at the beginning, I'm very ignorant, and I'm gonna ask these tough questions, Cynthia, not as an attack, but because many people, I'm sure, have made these same assumptions as I have. I kind of want to be like the devil's advocate here. Pero I grew up in a home where I did have parents, so I can understand where, if you didn't have a stable home, then what he was telling you made sense, especially because you were so young.
It was scary. The thought of it was scary.
Yes.
Like, she probably didn't want it. She's like, no, I don't want to lose my family. I don't want to lose the stability, in quotations. You know what I mean?
Because to me, when I hear, like, of domestic violence or, verbal abuse and all that, I don't get it, because I'm like, let a guy try to yell at me. I'm gonna call my daddy so quick. I'm gonna call my brother so quick. Like,
not everybody has that.
But okay, so that was my whole thing. Is that why you never reached out, Cynthia? Because you didn't feel like you had
that support,
that security,
that backup.
Yeah, that's the thing, that because I left so young, and I knew that they were against it, and I wasn't speaking to them. I was.
So you probably thought, oh, they're not going to help me.
Yeah, it's like, okay, look, you got yourself into the situation. I'm sure you can get yourself out. And of course, they the times that I would sneak around and be able to talk to them, they always told me, like, we're here for you, and don't ever be afraid to come back home. We know what you're going through. But it was that, I guess it's like that pride where it's like, I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna show you guys that, yeah, it's wrong. You guys are wrong, and I'm right, and we're gonna make it work.
You didn't want to hear "I told you so."
Yeah, exactly. And I don't like involving. At that point, I wouldn't tell anybody ever my problems. I didn't want anybody knowing. Why? Because a lot of times it's like, why am I going to go out there telling everybody, oh, yeah, we're fighting or we're arguing and I'm not okay and this and that. And then you go even looking, elsewhere for another relationship or something, on the down low. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why are you going to make it work later on? Because you have kids. You always want to try to make it work. And that was my thing. I just, we have 3 kids together, and I was like, I don't want to break the family apart. Wow. And, it was just, just a matter of dealing with it.
Yeah. I mean, I
hoping that he would change.
Yes, because we always think that they're going to change. When I was with my son's dad, I would always think like, no, I gotta make it work. Everything's going to be fine. I can always... he'll change. But it was like 14 years of the same, 12 years of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and again, like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate because I'm very ignorant to the subject. To me, it's like, que ni se atrevan, because I have brothers. I have
4 brothers.
I have a dad. You didn't feel like you could go to your brothers?
No, because at the same time, I think this is my son's dad. One, I don't want my family to hate him because at the end of the day, he's gonna be in my son's life.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, he has to be around, but that doesn't mean that he gets to mistreatment. Like, let my brothers kick his ass,
right,
and then para que se comporte. You know what I mean?
I guess I don't like to see people fighting. I get anxiety when I see people fighting because I have seen domestic violence. I never have suffered from it, thankfully. I mean, or gone through it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have suffered because I've seen it, like with my brother and my sister-in-law, and just I've seen it. I've lived with it. I grew up with it since I was a little kid, so that's why it gets I get a little anxiety. And I was gonna say, and if it was hard for me with just one kid, I would think that it was hard for her with 3 kids.
Oh, of course. So how many kids did you guys have in total? Just the 3, Cynthia?
Yes, we have the 3.
Oh, okay.
All boys?
I have my two boys are 16 and 13 right now, and my daughter's 9.
Oh,
a little princess.
Girl. Okay, so then tell us what helped you kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, or to find your voice. Like, how did you get to that?
What made you finally say enough?
Yeah.
So it maybe was like, I don't know, 2015, 16 when I started, verbally defending myself when it came to, the belittlement and whatnot. He would get upset. It started off with, actually, the first time he ever hit me, it was on our wedding day. Yeah, when we actually got married. So I was like, you know what? This has been my dream to get married. Let's just forget that happened. I was crying like crazy, but I know you love me and I love you, and we'll work through this. I know you won't do it again, blah, blah, blah. And it just, of course, got worse after that.
Did you guys, how old were you guys when you guys got married? Did you guys get married before your babies?
22.
22.
No, I was like 22, so I already had my 2 boys.
Yeah. Oh my God, Cynthia, my heart breaks to hear that.
Yes.
I'm so sorry you went through that.
Why did it happen? Why did it lead to it? What made it lead to it?
He hadn't gotten home that night at all. The day that we were supposed to leave to go get married, because we lived here in San Diego. We lived in San Diego. We were going to drive to Las Vegas, and so by the time he actually got, so I didn't sleep all night, just not even knowing where he was at, what he was doing, anything like that. When he finally did get home around 5 a.m, he was intoxicated, and then he was just telling me how he was with his friend and this and that, and I was like, okay, whatever, let's just get in the car, let's go. And I was already upset, where I was crying. I'm like, I didn't even hear from you all night. I mean, that's just messed up. You knew it was our wedding day, and we needed to drive out there. Like, look, now it's me who's driving instead of you driving us out there. And because I wouldn't be quiet with me crying and complaining, him not coming home, that's when he just, he was laying down on the passenger side, and he got up and he started stalking my arm. And he was just like, just shut the fuck up already. I'm sorry, I don't even know if I can cuss here.
Yeah, yes. It's a safe space, Cynthia. It's a safe space.
Okay, but yeah, it was just like, and then afterwards, of course, when we got then to the parking lot, I had to pull over to the side because he numbed my arm. It hurt so bad.
Oh my goodness.
And I couldn't drive where it was hurting me. So I was able to pull over on the freeway, and then once I felt better to keep driving, I just kept driving, and I was like, I cannot believe this just happened. But
and you were still.
I'm so ready to get married. Like, what? Oh my God!
I was gonna say, and you're still willing to drive to get married.
Yeah,
I would have turned around. I would have turned around.
Well, that's what you say. That's what you say now.
It's
but
easier said than done.
Yeah, but I can imagine she already has 2 kids with this guy.
Yeah.
Her mental state is already she's already been brainwashed for years that this is her only Lord and Savior.
Yes, and that he's the only man that's gonna love her. Mm-hmm. Because that's what they do. That's what they, yeah, see, that's what they say. They always say, "I'm the only one." ¿Quién te va a querer,
pinche gorda? Ya con 2 chamacos.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And then our self-esteem starts like, "Oh my gosh, it's true." And then that's when we start pouring down on ourselves, and
I cannot imagine, that makes me so mad, because like I said, I've never had that. If anything, when I feel down, my husband tries to uplift me, of my insecurities, like, oh my God, I got lonjas, and he's like, well, that's where you carried my son.
Oh,
that's sweet.
Yes. And he's always like, I rather you look this way and have my son than you look just like when I first met you. And, it's so more sweet. Meaningful now. Pero, so to hear that, it boils my blood that this SOB did that to her.
And then not just that, but at the same time, they put us down, and then they're kicking us while we're down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So not only is it...
Yeah, my self-esteem was really low for so many years. I mean,
because of that reason.
The way I was dressed, I was bien tapada, and it was just...
Girl, oh my God, I cannot wait till we get to the end.
Yeah, I cannot.
Yeah, oh my God.
Girl, okay. So then, the good thing is we have time, girl. So then.
This is an amazing story.
Yes. It's great. So then, okay, so you get there, you got married. Obviously, things don't change. Do things get worse?
They got better for a little bit just because he felt bad of what he did, but then they go back to their old ways. He went back to, again, just the whole talking shit, all the time to me, anything. And if there was anything I could try to help with when it came to, his little business ideas that he had, if I said something, it was like, what the fuck do you know? You don't you don't know anything. You're younger than me. I'm older. You know, you don't. God. Why? Like, I could not have. I had no say when it came to trying to, you know, help in any way. When it came to that, it was just go to work, come home, clean, cook, take care of us. You know, it was like that was my life.
So you're not smart enough to make business decision, but you're smart enough to go to work.
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I just had no say in anything, yeah.
That makes sense, sir. Yeah. That is so, oh my God, okay.
And take my check.
And take your check on top of that. Because obviously when he's taking your check, he's taking your kids' money as well.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
What would he do throughout the day that he would not be... I mean, would he at least help you clean the house, do laundry or something, or no?
No, he would take... Well, for a while, it's like, let's say my daughter was out in school, he'd be the one babysitting her while I was at work. Picking up the kids from school. I would drop them off, though, in the morning.
Oh, wow. He couldn't even get up to do that?
No, a lot of times we only had one car.
Oh.
And babysitting...
It was like another type of control.
Babysitting what type? Babysitting actually like, spending time with her? Or babysitting as, here's a tablet?
Or turn on the TV and watch Yo Gabba Gabba.
And watch TV, yeah. And he'd sleep or something because he'd already get home super late from being out working at, you know... So he was like selling... At that point, he was already selling like brand name products. Like we would sell authentic Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, things like that. And a lot of times he would end up at strip clubs and sell to the managers there and sell, you know, so it was always like, that's why I told you that he'd compare me a lot to women because he'd be like, well, I can get it, you know, there were times where you just don't want to do anything anymore with them, you know, and it's just like, well, I can get it for free.
How could you want to, girl?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't get it for free. You would get it from the stuff that you're trying to sell. The product that you have. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're losing money, so if like, anything. You wouldn't be getting
because
it
I bet you anything, because she's like, very beautiful. You're beautiful, Cynthia. I saw your picture and I was like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. And I bet you this SOB parece un paisa. Am I wrong?
No. He's good looking, I'm not gonna lie. He is.
But what kind of good looking, girl? Like prison good looking? Or like Brad Pitt good looking?
Okay, not Brad Pitt, that's for sure.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, he's I mean, he's a Chicano, and you know, it's whatever. But anyways,
so jail good looking,
right? But jail good looking kind of guy. Yeah, pretty much. So yes, okay, I get it, tienes pegue, whatever, you know, but it's like, okay, I'm not the kind of person, if I see that he looks good in something, I would always try to make him feel good, like, oh my God, he looks good, or if I have a friend, oh my God, your man's hot, and I would tell him, like, hey, my girl thinks you're hot, you know, it's like, I like that, I like to hear stuff like that, and I'll tell him so he could feel good. But then, you know, it was the total opposite for my end, and if somebody laid eyes on me, oh my gosh, it was like if I would have laid eyes on them, and I'm trying to flirt or something, and I'm over here being a hoe, according to him. I'm like, I didn't even see the guy. What are you talking about? Who? And it was like, no, it was, you know, yeah, I saw you looking at him, and I'm like...
And when guys are like that, that, you know, that they're overprotective or they trip on the girl, I feel it's because it's an insecurity of them.
And also because they're probably doing it.
Like, they know what they're capable of, and that's why... they blame, like, you know, they think that you're as bad as they are, you know, and it's more than anything, it's an insecurity because he knew, I mean, you guys have a home, you know, with your 3 kids, like, she's standing by you with you being a bum, like,
I'm still amazed at how I am working, I'm working at night at strip clubs. I'm going to the strip clubs because those are the only girls that can afford these bags. And at the same time, I'm like meeting the people so I can sell more bags to other strippers. So that's why I'm partying and drinking while I'm out here hustling.
But let's remember, it's always Cynthia's money.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like he doesn't do anything all day. He doesn't even help at home. And, oh, man.
And I was an online seller. I was the one selling like on Offra, Craigslist.
He couldn't do that.
Yeah.
He needed to go out to the strip clubs and make sure he got his.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So around 2015, 2016, you start speaking up for yourself. What made you start speaking out and standing up for yourself?
I couldn't take it anymore. That's when I opened up like Facebook, and I started looking for family, reaching out, like, hey, I miss you guys, like everything on the down low. He could not know. I don't know. I got tired. I was like, I'm going to go crazy because I don't talk to anybody. I couldn't go to like outings with my coworkers when it came to like a monthly meeting or something. The monthly meeting was outside of the office. Yeah. It was like, where are you going? Why are you going? This isn't work related. Now you're wasting your time. Like, you're just trying to have fun without us.
What?
I could not go. Yeah, I couldn't
go. He wasn't having fun when he was going to the strip club. He was doing business.
No, he was working really hard.
So I have a question. So the first time that he got like violent with you, it was your wedding night or wedding day. And when did it continue to get worse, or did it get better, or did he not do it again, or?
So throughout the times, it'd be where he'll pull my hair, he'll pinch me, leave me bruises and stuff like that. The kids would see a lot of this, but they thought it was normal. I mean, at that point, because according to their dad, how he'd explain it, it's like, I didn't listen. I'm not listening to him. I didn't pay attention, the right way, like I was supposed to. And I would just cry. I mean, there were times that I would just cry. And my son, my 13, I still have a text message where he saw me crying, and I was in the front seat. He was in the back, and he texted me, "I love you, Mom."
Aww.
And it was just like my everything. And I had told him a few times, I'm like, I really want to leave your dad without him knowing. I really want to, I can't live like this anymore. And my 13-year-old told me, and my 16-year-old, at the time they were a lot younger, but they were like, we don't care about the arguments. We just want our family together.
Oh, so that broke your heart too.
That broke my heart, and I'm like, okay, you got to keep going, like, you just see how much longer you can last like this. And it just got to the point where, it was a life and death situation. The last time he laid hands on me was in August of 2020.
Wow.
August of 2020, August of 2019.
I was going to say, wow. I mean, wow. It's so recent still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, August of 2019, he was, under the influence. And I had already called the police on him earlier that day because he was pulling my hair, he was twisting my neck. I mean, it was getting bad. I had called the police on him. He ran, and anyways, he ended up calling me to go pick him up, and I was like, Jesse, no, right now you're mad because I called the police on you. You're not gonna stop. Anyways, he convinced me to go get him because money was involved, and I needed the money. So he's like, I'll give you the money and I'll leave. That's it. I can't deal with this anymore either. I'm like, okay. So later on that night, I'm driving. I'm on the freeway, and because he had a few beers in his system, which makes him a little more violent when he's under the influence. We were already arguing because I had called the police on him, and I told him, I don't want you at home. You're not coming home with us. I'm going to take you to the Greyhound. I'm dropping you off. I already told you what the deal was. You were going to give me the money, and that's it. The kids were in the back seat, of course. Oh. And so he was mad. He punched me in the face. And while I was driving, I didn't know what to do. Like, at that moment, you're just on survival mode. I'm like, okay, don't brake. Because somebody from behind is going to hit you. Don't swerve. You're going to hit somebody from the side. Mm-hmm. You're going to flip the car over. Your kids are in the back seat. You're like thinking all these things a million miles per hour while you're driving.
And they saw him hit you.
Yeah, so my son, he swung again. He hit me in the face again, and then and my son jumped over the back seat, my oldest, and my other son started crying. My daughter started crying. He started trying to make us feel better, like don't look. And he was able to get another hit into me. Like, I'm surprised he didn't knock me out. Wow. It was 3 hits to the face. Until I could finally, like, somehow, and my son, you know, he was on top of him to stop. I was finally able to pull over, and I was able to grab my purse. I had the phone in my hand. I ran into 7-Eleven, called, you know, I called the police at that moment where I was like, okay, I'm here, I'm safe. I'm not in public. He can't continue going at this, you know. I was able to get the police. He went on the run for like 2 months.
Wow.
And we were living in Arizona at the time, and so he came over here to California to not be caught up in Arizona. So I just that was the last time he ever laid hands on me.
So you stopped at a 7-Eleven and called the cops, and then as soon as you stopped, I'm sure he got out and ran, right?
Yeah, as soon as I pulled over, he got out and ran. Wow. Because he was like, don't call the police, don't call the police. I'm like, what is wrong with you? How am I not going to call the police? Like, we just did. Like, you almost killed all of us, because he could have killed all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't for me being able to control the car.
So you finally left him in 2019, girl?
So we did. We pretty much separated. And then he'd come around here and there. Because of the kids afterwards, you know, like a couple months after that. Once he actually came back, you know, I was like, okay, well, you can see the kids, but we're not going to live together, and, you know, that's it. He tried to turn himself in. They finally pressed charges once I went to go to counseling because I thought I was going to go crazy with everything. Because, of course, they mind twist you. They make it seem like you're going crazy, you're psycho, what's wrong with you, you need to be put on medication. If it wasn't for you, we'd be working this out, you know. And I'm like, maybe something is wrong with me. Maybe I got to stop losing myself, you know. And because it got to the point where I'd start breaking things in the house. Like, I'd throw things in because I from frustration. And I'm like, what do I frustrated. Do? Yeah. So I look like the crazy one. And according to my kids, I look like the crazy one. I'm the crazy one because I'm screaming, because I'm throwing things, I'm breaking things. And their dad was super calm at that time, you know? So he'd make it seem like, look at your mom, she's fucking going crazy again. So my boys right now don't talk to me. And that's where I also mention a lot on my page, parental alienation, because that's pretty much what happened. I mean, he has the boys with him. He completely brainwashed them. They saw everything I've gone through for all these years, and they still don't want to talk to me. I'm the crazy one. They want to put a restraining order on me. And I'm just, you know, I started going to church. Like, I started getting close to God, and it's just a matter of asking him to open up their hearts, you know, and realize at this point it's been a year now that I don't speak to them, I don't see them, and it's driving me crazy. I miss them so much because he did this, you know. I'm just like, I can't believe he has no heart, you know, and I'm over here feeling bad for him. I feel bad for him. I'm just like, this is a sickness that he has. He's not going to get fixed. I mean, he's so stubborn. He won't get help in any way. He thinks the kids don't need therapy.
That's what I was gonna ask, if you ever attempted to take them to therapy.
They wouldn't listen. My daughter did start therapy. Since we were in Arizona, we both started therapy out there. He tried taking me to a like a, what are they called, where they go take like a psycho place,
like a behavioral health,
mental health, like a mental health hospital. Yeah. He tried to drop me off there. He tried trying to tell him that I needed to get sedated because I needed help. I needed to stay there for like a week or something because I needed help. Yeah, he's like, she's crazy. She needs to be sedated or something. And one of those times I got so upset, and I was like, well, yeah, because he's a fucking narcissist. And right away from there, they like separated us. They were like, you're coming over here, she's coming. And they're like, nothing's wrong with you. This is the reaction that you're having on a daily basis towards him is because of the abuse that you're going through. So it's perfectly normal for you to be acting the way you are. He's your trigger. Like, and it got to the point where, the psychiatrists were telling me that, like, you need to get away from him. And on the 4th of July, we ended up coming over here. It's a lot. Like, I'm skipping, I think, like, a lot of my story, but just because I got to cut it, you know, into little pieces.
Yes. Oh, my God, girl.
Break it down.
Oh, my God. Like, I'm just... more than anything, I think I'm very angry that now he has the audacity to keep your kids away from you. Because you said your boys are how old?
Yeah, 16 and 13.
He's doing the same thing with them what he did with you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yes.
And then these
he's
boys.
Them at this point now.
Yes. And then the sad part is that these boys now are in the age where they can start dating. They can start meeting girls, and then the pattern can continue, and that's what worries me.
Yeah,
because they don't know any different.
Yep. And then they saw it, and it was so normal in their household. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That's what I told my oldest, because he's had his girlfriend since he was in 8th grade. Wow. And I would tell him, I'm like, these aren't normal behaviors. You're gonna pick these kind of behaviors up, and I don't want that for you. You need to understand that this is the reason I'm walking away. I mean, I needed to be strong for my daughter too. She's gonna fall into the same situation, thinking it's normal to be taking this kind of abuse. And she was the one who would tell me. She was like 7, 8 years old, and she'd tell me like, "Mom, why do you let Daddy talk to you like that? That's not fair. That's not. You can't even go hiking with us, Mom. Like, why? Why is he saying that? Like." That's not normal. Like, she was little and talking to me like that.
Where's your daughter right now? Is she with you?
She's with me. She lives with me, yes.
Oh, that's good. Yes. When was the last time you saw your boys? And why? I mean, how did it happen?
Like that they left with their dad?
The 4th of July of last year, we ended up coming. I took the restraining order off in Arizona because one of the therapists said that we needed to work together to get the kids out of the hotel, because we were living in a hotel at that time. And we ended up coming to San Diego because he was going to do naked sales. And he started getting upset because I started telling the kids to put sunblock on their face. Because I was like, okay, you guys have been locked up in the house the whole time, and please put sunblock on. You're going to get burnt. And they were upset because they didn't want to put sunblock on their face. I'm like, can you just listen to me? I'm like trying to be a mom here. Put your sunblock on. I don't want to deal with you guys later crying that you guys are in pain. Mm-hmm. So, of course, then my husband gets mad, and he's like, leave them the fuck alone. Why are you even bothering them? Like, just stop. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just telling them to put sunblock. Anyways, I walked away from the situation at that time. I left with my daughter. We were walking around, whatever. I come back with a mask that says SD on it. And he said, take that fucking shit off. You look like a fucking thug. You need to respect me while we're here. I know we're not together, but while we're here, respect what you wear.
What was it? What did it
SD.
Say? SD? Oh,
it was a mask that said SD on it.
Oh my God.
God.
He's so traumatized because he was like gang related, back in the days when he was a lot younger. And he's like traumatized by all that stuff, where I'm just like, Jesse, this is like, I'm representing San Diego Padres. It was brown and the lettering was yellow. I'm like,
it's not even like blue or red.
No. I'm like, oh my gosh, Jesse. Anyway, I ended up taking off my mask. I'm like, okay, to not cause any problems, I'm putting it away. What does he do? He starts mumbling, under his, he just starts talking. I'm like, why are you disrespecting me now? I already took it off, Then you wonder why I treat you the way I treat you. You fucking whore, this and that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And with the kids in the car, I'm like, can you control yourself? Watch your language around the kids. Like, and he wouldn't stop. I lost myself. I started hitting the dashboard. By then we were already on the freeway, and he was the one who was driving, and I started stalking the dashboard. I was like, pull the fucking car over. I'm fucking leaving to I'm leaving to Arizona. I'm going back home with my kids, and I'm leaving your fucking ass here. And I was like, this is why I don't understand why the therapist wanted us to come together to San Diego. This is bullshit. And so I started taking out my medication because I already had about a year taking my meds for anxiety and depression. And I took out my pills from where I was like shaking and so upset. I poured it onto my hand, but like 20 of them came out, like a bunch of them, just a whole handful of them came out. And I did say a comment being upset. I'm like, do I got to take 20 of these motherfuckers to deal with your ass? Mm-hmm. And the kids only saw that I had so many in my hand. But my husband saw that I put them back in, and I only took the 2 that I was taking. And he, of course, made it seem like I was over here trying to commit suicide. Mm-hmm. So when he finally pulled the car over, we stopped at a 7-Eleven. Another 7-Eleven. We stopped at a 7-Eleven, and And I jumped out of the car. I popped the trunk. I started throwing everything out, like all his things. But then there was so many in there that I also had the boys' things that I was throwing them out. I didn't even know I was throwing theirs out. It was just a complete blackout at that moment, you know? And so I was like, get the fuck out of the car, you know? And I was just losing myself. And so, so the kids jumped out of the car too. And they're like, Mom, calm down. Like, no, you're fucking dad, you know? I was like, this is not me though. Like I only lose myself with him. So in one of those, he started coming to, I was like on the passenger side trying to get more of his things out. And on that, he was coming towards me. And my first reaction is like, he's going to hit me. So I grabbed onto his chain and I pulled it. I pulled on it like two times just to pull it. And I cut my finger and I cut his neck from the chain. So I, you know, kind of, you know, the chain went everywhere, whatever. And I told the kids, get in the car. We're leaving. Get in the car. They don't want to get in. He's like, you guys don't have to get in the car if you guys don't want to. You guys don't have to. So they didn't get in the car. They stayed with him. Eva jumped in the car with me and my daughter. And I rushed to my mom's house. The good thing is that we were close to my mom. And I was like, I hope they're home. Luckily they were. Oh. And so my mom started helping. She goes, Mom, what happened? Oh my goodness. They didn't even know I was here because, remember, I couldn't really talk to them. Mm-hmm. I ended up, my mom started cleaning my hand where I was, you know, bleeding and whatever. So my phone started ringing and I saw that it was my son. So I answered and it was the police. They're like, can you please come back? Because we need to ask you some questions. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I did not think at all at that time, okay, nothing's going to happen to me because this was self-defense. I didn't, you know, do anything. And so I ended back over there. Of course, the allegations that my husband and my kids were saying was that I was going crazy. I tried to commit suicide. I took so many pills, and this is domestic violence against her dad because my oldest son was the one who called the police on me. And it was just, I was so heartbroken. I was like, I can't believe this is happening to me right now. Anyways, they put me into the ambulance just to make sure that I wasn't overdosing or anything like that. And in that, the police officer that was there, he jumped in the ambulance with me and handcuffed me. I was like, "Are you serious? This is happening right now?" I started crying like crazy. I was like, "This cannot be happening to me right now." Oh my goodness. I was like, my daughter, he's gonna want to go get her. I started telling my mom, do not let him take my daughter. And she's like, don't worry, they're gonna be with me. And I was like, why are you handcuffing me? Why? What did I? And I'm like, this was self-defense. And like, I'm sorry, it's just for the allegations. We're gonna have to take you to, they took me to Paradise Valley Hospital just to make sure that I wasn't.
Girl.
Yeah.
And then Paraíso, yeah. I used to work there, girl. I used to work at Paradise Valley.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so
they took me there.
Oh my God.
They medically released me. They, did the blood work, the P test, just to make sure, I had, obviously, I'm completely clean. I had nothing in my system. And from there, drove me to Las Colinas detention facility, women's detention facility, and I was there for a week.
What? Okay, so he did all of this to you, and other times you called the cops on him. He never got arrested, but the one time your son, oh my goodness.
Yes. And I was like, you know what? Once I was in there, I was like meditating to myself. I was praying to God. I'm like, why? I'm like, this was the best thing that could have happened to me. I'm losing like a week of my freedom, but in a way, it's my freedom. Yes. I'm free. I cannot go back. Mm-hmm. Like this is. And so yeah, of course, everybody was like, "Oh my God, we gotta get you out. I'm gonna get a lawyer." I'm like, "Don't get me a lawyer. I'm gonna get myself out." I started writing to the psychiatrist in there. I started writing to the booking department there. I started writing to everybody. I was like, I need to get out of here. This is self-defense. Like, I don't belong here. I'm going, like, I need to go home to my daughter. I'm a resident of Scottsdale, Arizona. I got to get the rest of my things out. Just in that, I had to think of so many things to do. I had to call my mom. Can you please call the U-Haul? Have them lock it down. Have them lock down the hotel because everything was under my name. I'm like, I don't want him to have access to anything. And so, right, I was just like, let me get a phone call. Let me get another phone call because I gotta do all of this. And luckily they answered me, and the psychiatrist was able to help me out. And I got a lawyer, the public defenders, within those couple of days that I was there. And she's like, don't worry, I'm gonna get you out. And that Friday, July 10th, I got out. I was like, oh my goodness.
Girl.
And I've come a long way. I've come such a long way just within this year. I'm so proud of what I've done. Yes, I'm still hurting because I miss my babies.
Of course.
But I gotta keep looking at it where God has his timing for everything.
Yes.
Like I was in jail for a reason. God did this for a reason. Maybe something else would have happened.
I think it's almost yes, it's almost like a timeout. Like, look at where you're at now because you need to get out. Like, that was almost like your rock bottom.
I feel like he had to lock you up in order to free you from your past
situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My situation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my God, it could have been worse.
Exactly. He could have killed you. Like,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, when he was punching you, like, everything could have been worse. Or I'm mixing up the stories.
And in Arizona, I was already having horrible thoughts of myself. I didn't want to be in this world anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason I got that help. I'm like, because something else is going to happen. Something a lot more tragic for sure. And yeah, I'm blessed and I'm grateful for where I'm at and for my family.
And just be patient. I'm sure God's gonna work in a way with your kids to help you out, like to turn around. And I mean, I hope God like really opens up your kids' minds.
Yes, and their hearts.
Yes.
Because I would hate for them to stay with their dad.
Me too.
I don't think that's going to end up
suffer a lot if they stay there.
And then
we're still going to court. We're still fighting custody.
But is it to the point? Is it to the point where they can choose where they can be at? Because I know that they get to a certain age where
they're choosing to stay with their dad. And at this point, after we had our parenting conference, it looks like the mediator just pretty much put out there, like, I think this is what should be, where he gets sole custody of the boys temporarily, and I get sole custody of my daughter temporarily until we figure out, because he's wanting for the court to mandate that he take them to reunification therapy so that we can start communicating through Zoom at least.
Yes.
And that itself will start opening up the relationship more between us. And, you know, this is your mom. It's not normal for you to not love your mom when she's been there for you all your life.
I wonder, because, ves que dicen, the saying goes, there's always three sides to a story. Your side, his side, and then the truth. In your kids' eyes, I wonder what they have been holding on to and how blind they have been and how manipulated they've been by their father to the point where they're like seeing you as evil when to begin with it was him that started manipulating you and started abusing you. You know what I mean? So I wonder what their point of view to everything is.
Yeah.
I know.
I think that what their kids, they would see their dad be verbal and whatever, and when they saw that Cynthia lost it, they probably said, oh, so this is why he does this to her. Meaning that maybe their dad would tell them this. Well, he did say it out loud. This is why I treat you the way I treat you. So maybe in their mind is like, oh, so behind closed door, we never see mom go crazy on dad like this. And now all of a sudden we see it like, her go crazy.
That's what I'm thinking too. And I'm assuming that they're thinking that mom broke up the family.
Because I couldn't control myself because
and they're kids. So I mean, can you really blame them in a way? No, because
they're easily manipulated.
And they're children. So what do they know about relationships
right
and all that?
Exactly. Except for what they've seen.
Cynthia, my heart goes out to you, girl.
Mine too, Cynthia. Be strong. I'm hoping that
she's a badass.
Yes, she is. I'm hoping that her everything sounds so positive coming from her. Like, even though I think I'd be dying.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I would handle it.
Girl,
But
I would be
she is
still
so
locked
strong.
up in Paradise
Yeah.
Valley Hospital. Going crazy.
You are so strong,
Yes.
Cynthia. I'm very proud of you. I don't know you, but this story has uplifted me and given me strength and faith, and I believe that God's gonna help you have that relationship with your kids again one day, hopefully sooner than later. And just keep your head up. You're amazing. You're
And for you to be able to speak
great.
about it out
Yes.
loud, girl, and share it on social media, that's such a vulnerable place,
and still stay so positive.
I know, and I know that it can take out different. Because see, after a while, that's the reason I would stay quiet about it, because you get different, sides from different people. Like, no, you shouldn't be saying a story. You got to keep it's personal. You got to keep it to yourself. But the thing is, like, other people need to hear this. This is the reason that for many, many years people would keep it to themselves, because they were afraid to speak the truth. They were afraid to it wasn't out there as much, people didn't know much about it, but it's like, it's there. There's help everywhere.
Exactly.
You can go to, there's housing, there's support that you can get, whether it's a group that you can get into, there's counseling, it's like, there's therapy all around. And I want people to know that there's help out there no matter what, because I thought I was by myself, and I never was.
And I'm glad that as soon as you ran to your family, they were there. You were close to there. Everything happens for a reason. And I feel like God put you in that 7-Eleven close to your mom's house. I'm sure you hit 7-Elevens now, right?
I love it more.
I mean, they have saved your life.
They have
saved your life.
They both, they both saved my life.
It's like a love or hate with 7-Eleven, I'm sure.
I'll never see a 7-Eleven the same, Cynthia.
Me neither, Cynthia.
I always gonna think of Cynthia every time. Oh my goodness.
No, but now I would love to hear, what you've done to
where you're at now.
Yes, what you've done up to this point, girl, that has made you strong enough to share your story. Did you go to counseling? Have you?
She's gotten closer to God, she mentioned. So I want to hear how or why or what made you turn to God.
Yes.
Because sometimes that's when we're going through stuff like that. That's when people start saying, God, there is no God. Like, look at what I'm going through. Mm-hmm. But it's a blessing in disguise, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So where are you, girl?
Yeah, I mean, so at this point, why... I'm not going to lie. There was my time that I didn't want to, I did lose belief in God. I said, why am I going through this? Why, it was before I even started reaching out for help or anything like that. And I'm like, why, what did I do to deserve this? Mm-hmm. Is there really a God out there? Why, I give everything to my husband, to my kids. I'm loyal, I'm faithful. I'm everything to them. Why is this happening? What am I doing wrong? And once I started seeking therapy out there in Arizona, that's when it helped me a lot when I would start whatever I knew I was learning about narcissists and the abuse and whatnot. That's when I created the Instagram page. And I was like, you know what? It makes me feel good as I'm doing my research, I'm doing my homework here. As I'm doing this and I start making a post, I mean, there's times that I would get direct messages like, hey, thank you for posting this. It helped a lot. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of people that I knew that reached out to me and told me, oh my goodness, I didn't even know you were going through this. You hit it so well. I was going through a similar thing, and you know what, you speaking about it now is just helping me, just reading like the little quotes, kind of like you're saying, like I would, read quotes and then just kind of redo it in my own words and whatnot.
So the support from other people.
Yeah, and so they started reaching out and they were like, oh my goodness, thank you for putting this out there. It's this really touched my heart, or, and that would start making me feel better. Mm-hmm. So as I started doing that and I'd speak to people about it, I was like, wow, well, maybe, this is helping me just kind of continue with life, even though I'm having a hard time with life, mm-hmm. Like it was just, so even though, okay, so let's say I was busy at work and whatnot, I'd start doing more. I'd start researching more on the topic, whether it was just anything about narcissists, and so that, the word can be spread out there and people can realize what it, because it took me a long time to figure out that he was a narcissist. Mm-hmm. And a narcissist is never diagnosed, like, in person through a psychiatrist or anything. They're diagnosed through the victim, mm-hmm. because they're so in denial about who they are, what they do to you, that they think they're right and you're wrong. They're never going to get help. Till today, he's never gotten help. The only thing he did go were domestic violence classes, but that was because it was like court order. If he didn't do it, he was going to end up in jail. So, other than that, he doesn't seek help because according to him, he's normal. He's right. And I'm wrong.
They never want to go. They never want to go. I don't want somebody telling me what to do. It's like they're not telling you what to do.
That's
they're
their thing.
telling you how you can be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like I wish I knew this guy and I could sock him in the face, like, or in the throat, like, oh my God.
Punch his
Adam's
apple in.
Yes, girl. Bajarle de donde
and
está.
I'm so blessed that I have his mom, his dad, his sister. They're all very supportive.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they saw a lot of the abuse as well, and mainly his mom, and so it helps a lot that they're there, being very supportive and yeah.
Sorry. Did the mom go through domestic violence?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wonder where he saw it or where he got it from, or because
I don't know.
Sometimes
That might be like that machista. That I don't know.
Because sometimes they get it from
their parents,
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you know what? And I'm so sorry. I hope my brother doesn't listen to this because he's been on the show before. My older brother, but my brother physically abused his first two wives. Oh.
And he didn't grow up with that.
He didn't grow up with that. I mean, my dad was very machista and stuff like that, but he wouldn't hit my mom. Right. If anything, my mom threw a glass blender at my dad. But
it's not funny.
It's not funny, but he still has a scar.
It's not funny, but it's funny.
But it is.
They make us go crazy. Damn it! No.
Yeah. pero like my brother did that to his wife, and I was never around it. I never witnessed it ni nada de eso.
I witnessed one of my brothers, with each other, his wife and him, mm-hmm. his ex-wife and him. But I mean, I never knew who started it, who was.
Yeah, I was 6 years old, girl.
Same here. I was little.
So, I didn't know, mm-hmm. but I always thought, maybe there's a correlation between them growing up, seeing that at home. But mm-hmm. I'm like, wait, my brother didn't see that at home
and
either.
I was gonna tell you, my mom and my dad never laid hands on my mom. If anything, my mom threw a shoe down the stairs, but that's it. Le aventó la chancla, but that's it.
Yes.
It's so funny, like you with the blender, your mom with the blender, my mom with the chancla, and that was just one time that I witnessed that.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for my dad. I'm like, ay, pobrecito, ¿por qué le avientas la chancla?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Pero okay, so you're doing that now. You said you're working, so you have a stable job. You and your daughter
on your own, or you live with family?
I'm not working. I'm not, because I started going to school. I always wanted to go back to school to change my career.
Yes.
Because I'm currently an expanded function dental assistant. Well, I was. I'm retiring now as that. So I'm an independent contractor where I can. I just kind of put my information out there, and I have different doctors reaching out to me saying, "Hey, can you help us out this day? We need an assistant." So I'll go and help out, and they'll pay me for the day.
Oh, that's cool.
Now,
because you make your own schedule, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And it works a lot with my schedule right now since I started. I just graduated May 4th at UCSD.
Congratulations.
Oh my God. That deserves an applause. Hold on.
That's cute. I like it.
Yes. Okay.
So I started school October of last year, and in May I finished to become an occupational health and safety specialist. Nice. This all has to do with OSHA.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to kind of stick within the medical dental field of the whole OSHA department, where I can, of course, I'm going to be working with the government for a while, working for a company, but then eventually want to drift off to having my own business where I can focus on helping medical and dental offices help them be ready, offer my services in that sense where they're before one of us pop in on them. One of us officers. Yes. So I'm continuing school so that I can become a professional health and safety officer. Nice. It's a little bit of a higher, ranking when it comes to that. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm doing this already, let me go all the way. I'm currently, being helped a lot by my parents. I'm not having to pay rent or anything like that.
Oh, that's great. Might as well go big or go home.
Yes, and the Department of Rehab are the ones who gave me that full scholarship. They're paying for everything.
Nice. Oh my God!
I'm glad you're taking. Yes, I'm glad you're taking advantage of that. Seriously, you deserve an applause.
Hold on.
Yes. Another one.
Another one. That is amazing,
You are
Cynthia.
so inspiring. Honestly.
Oh my God.
You're
amazing. You're an amazing woman.
I need to meet you and just give you a big hug. Yes. I'm so proud of you.
Yes, I was going to tell you, we got to meet for coffee for sure.
Yes, girl. Oh my God. And you know what? And we need to. So for everyone that doesn't know, I actually came across your page on the Explore page on Instagram. But then I saw that my husband's cousin was following you, so I reached out to her, and come to find out you're her best friend. So I'm gonna tell her, as soon as her pool is ready, I'm sure we can all meet up there.
Yes, that would be amazing. Because we actually spoke about it recently. Because we want to have a divorce party, and she said, "Let's have it at my house."
Oh yes, I am there.
Once it's official,
I'm going just because.
Yes,
I'm going.
Yes.
I'm invited too.
You're invited. You're invited too.
La prima Alicia is the best. Alicia, shout out to you because I'm sure she'll listen to this. Pero
yes,
I love her. I love her.
I can't wait to meet you, Alicia, so I can get invited too.
I am beyond blessed to have her in my life. She was one that reached out to me while I was in jail. She sent me my emails. She was there for me, and she came down to see me here in San Diego the day after I got out.
Ever need a ride or die?
It was like
it's Alicia. If you ever need a ride or die, it's Alicia.
Oh yes, for sure. She's always there.
Yes.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're down.
So are you in San Diego?
I am. Yeah, I am.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
So we can meet before then.
Yes. We can go have drinks or coffee or whatever, just to meet and chit chat, have dinner.
You have more friends now, girl.
Yes. And more supporters. Because I am 100% behind you, and I look up to you. You're very inspiring. You're amazing.
Yes.
Thank you, girl. I love it. I love that you guys gave me this opportunity. I mean, if it wouldn't be for you guys, I'd still just be, on my Instagram page, posting little things here and there.
No, this
is something
needed to be heard.
Yes, girl. And I would love to bring you back for another episode.
There's still so much more I want to ask. So much more I want to learn from you.
Yes, because an hour is not enough.
No,
and we're kind of going over the hour, but
I know we've gone over it. Yeah,
but it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
It's so worth it.
Yes, it is.
This episode is great. I needed my bottle of wine today, and I didn't even bring one.
I know.
For this episode, man,
Cynthia,
I still have anxiety.
Yeah, I stayed quiet a few times because, no lie, you made me cry.
Yeah, she was crying.
I was crying. So I was like, damn it, this is the day we needed wine.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Right?
We'll have a wine and dine one of these days for sure.
Yes. I normally have.
We can all cry together.
Yes, girl.
I normally have a little bit of wine during our episodes because I just like to relax a little, because it's just sometimes so heartbreaking or interesting and whatnot. But this one, I needed a bottle of wine, not just a glass. I needed the whole bottle.
The whole bottle.
The whole bottle. I had anxiety.
And we didn't even get into the details, girl. She just kind of
I skipped a lot of it. Yeah.
So, Cynthia, now, have you even thought of dating again, or are you already dating?
I mean, I have friends.
She goes out and has fun.
You have fun.
I'm not trying to. Yeah, I have so much going on, and that's something that I have to. I'm straight out from the beginning. Like, look, this is what I'm going through. So I'm like, if you want to walk away now, please be my guest, because I'm not trying to.
Yeah, I'm not here for
I'm not.
that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to bring you on to something that you're not ready for. I'm not ready. You know, I'm like, I'm not gonna give you all my time in the world because I can't. My daughter's my everything right now, and she needs me. My career needs me. You know, like, I'm trying to become this better version of myself, and I'm not going to give it to somebody else or somebody try to interfere with what my plans are.
Exactly.
18 years of being with somebody and finally feeling free. I'm like, I'm loving my freedom, and we can be friends. Go out to eat. Let's do this. Let's do that. And you know, that's pretty much about it, you know. And the good thing is that they're pretty understanding, you know.
And I'm proud of yourself for that. I'm proud of yourself for that because, you know, the reason why I ask is because usually women go right away into another relationship or they feel they can't make it without a man. And it's like, no, girl, like, work on yourself. Like, there's nothing wrong with you having fun and getting to know people because, you know, hopefully eventually you do find love and you do find somebody that's worthy
of your time.
Yeah, exactly. But you not jumping into a relationship, props to you, girl.
Yeah, and you're focusing on what matters, which is your degree, your education, raising your daughter, trying to get your other kids back, or at least some type of way in your
so
life.
Much therapy. It's a lot, and it's not fair to the other person, honestly, to just drag them on to everything I'm going through, because then it's like, you know, I vent here and there, you know, to friends, to family, and I mean, a lot of times I do keep it to myself, but I've learned to also, you know, you got to let it out so you don't go crazy.
Talk about it.
So, but I'm very positive about everything, no matter what. Even if there's something that's bad going on, it's like, okay, look, it's for a reason, and I'm gonna get through it.
Exactly.
I've been through worse. I've hit rock bottom so many times, got myself back up, and it's part of life, you know. Like, everybody has their things that they're going through, and you know, it's just.
My question: does your daughter have a relationship with her dad right now, or no?
No, we've tried reaching out a few times. He won't reach out.
Wow. So it's his choice.
At this point, yes. Yeah. The courts even have said, like, what have you done to try to reach out? Cynthia has shown her side where she's sent text messages out. I've sent emails out. Anytime I try to contact them, it's like a whole show because they don't want me contacting them. They're like, just leave us alone. So, and I, on Father's Day, I took pictures of her, sent it to his cell phone, took a video where she's talking to him, and where at that point, she was still at the daycare center, and she made him, like, these little drawings, paintings, and we sent it out, and she knows that he hasn't replied. I mean, I'm not going to lie to her either and say, oh, yeah, you know. And for a while, when we first got here, I would reach out to my sons through, like it's her, you know, calling, hey, she really wants to talk to you guys, she misses you guys, and they'd block us.
Wow.
Her cell phone, my cell phone.
Ay, pobrecita. I can only. How does she feel? I mean, I'm sure she's heartbroken. She's 9.
Yeah, she's when we first got here, she was crying like 3-4 days out of the week, and
she feels
she's also
rejected.
And yeah, that's how she feels, and I mean, again, it's so much harder when you can't really go around it, because I'm not gonna tell her, oh yeah, they said hi.
Yeah, you don't want to sugarcoat it. Like, you don't want to lie to her.
Yeah, no, exactly, and so she knows though that every night we pray to see them again soon, and or that they call us, and she goes to therapy once a week with me. I was going to ask
if she goes to therapy, because I'm sure this is really hard on her.
Yeah, she finished about 7-8 sessions of trauma therapy when we first got here, and then she was already in therapy over there in Arizona, and then now she's now we're just pretty much working on her behavior, but because she fluctuates, you know, and it's just it's part of the whole trauma that she's gone through, you know, and everything she's seen, and how she's still missing her brothers and her dad, because I don't speak bad about him at all. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I pray for him too, that you know, he's
Yeah,
he stays healthy for my boys and stuff, you know. So I don't wish that upon anybody. But I always sound like, don't worry, and he loves you, he misses you too. It's just I'm sure he's really busy with work and whatever. Whatever I can to make her feel better.
Yeah, not in a negative way you wanted to come across to her.
Exactly. Yeah. No, not at all. She misses him. That's why she loves him. That's why, it's like whatever happened between me and your daddy is between me and your daddy. He loves you.
Yeah.
So, because it has nothing to do with them. And that's where I wish he could, be a little more different when it comes to that. I'm like, call your mom, she loves you. She misses you. Call your sister. But no, it's total opposite.
Oh, Cynthia. Well, I'm just glad that, you're doing everything in your power to get things right and get going. Educating yourself is amazing. Girl, I'm just so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, and I really wish you nothing but the best. I hope you get your baby boys back soon.
So you can get them the help they need, really, because they're gonna need help.
Yeah. And just one last question for me, Cynthia. If somebody that's going through domestic violence at the moment right now, listening to your story, what is one thing you want them to take away, or what is one thing that you would advise them?
To seek help, seek therapy, and because that's what's going to make them stronger. That's what's going to help them step away from that. I know how hard it is to get away from it, but until you go to therapy and you're getting that professional help that you need on a weekly basis, if possible, then that's what's going to help you get away and stay away. Yes.
That's great advice.
You need to seek that professional help. Yeah, and there's help in every way. I mean, even through thankfully the county. I mean, you think oh my goodness, I can't afford a place on my own. How am I going to do this? They're there to help. Let's say you were to get put in a shelter when you have kids. I mean, it'll be very temporarily, and they'll help you get a place. Until today, they've even mentioned, even if I start working part-time, because I'm not working part-time right now, but thankfully I have my family. But for somebody out there that doesn't have their family, you start even working part-time, and they give you that child care support. They give you that the housing support. They've told me, like, you work part-time, and we'll help you with the down payment of an apartment. We'll help you with 6 months of subsidized rent. We'll help you furnish your place. Wow. There's so much help out there, and everybody needs to know that you're not alone.
Do you have those resources maybe like shared on your Instagram?
I don't. I could. That's something that I could put out there.
Yeah. Besides, maybe like on your highlights.
Hotline.
Yes. Like on your highlights, maybe like give them ideas of what they can Google. Because every state is different too. But maybe ideas of what they can Google or where to reach out for help, or what kind of programs there is, at least like for California, the ones that are listening in California.
California, what I know of Arizona, yeah. Because it's just a matter of looking it up for your state to see where you can go. I have a few therapists that have requested that they're like, you should become a certified peer specialist. Yes. You're very resourceful. You know where to go. You know what to do. You're out there just looking for different options all the time. That's how I was able to get a hold of the Department of Rehab, and they're helping me with my schooling. If I need clothing, they'll help me with the clothing if necessary. When it comes to needing gas money because you're going to school or you're going to work, they'll help you out with that too.
Wow.
I started doing my research everywhere. I'm like, I'm going to get all the help I can, because I know that once I get to where I want to get to, then it's like I'm going to give back as much as I can.
Yes. You can even start a website, girl, and I can show you how to monetize from your website and stuff like that. So,
the more people we help, the better.
Yes.
And honestly, there's a lot of people out there that take advantage of all this stuff. And it's like, there's a lot of people that really need it and is scared to actually go get that help.
Or embarrassed.
Yes. Embarrassed. And then there's other people that don't
care.
Really need it. They don't care. And, and they just use it and abuse it.
But if you are somebody that, needs that help, please know that I didn't even know that there was that many resources
Me neither.
out there, but I'm glad that there is, because then the excuses of you wanting to stay or feeling like you need to stay,
or that you don't have any way out because you can't afford a place, or you don't have money to leave, like where are you gonna go? Well, you're getting your answers right here.
Cynthia, so we'll see you definitely back. We'll have you back.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, I can't wait to hear more about
Another thing I'd like to reach out to you guys is that to reach out to anybody, there's this it's called Lead to Success. They're constantly having different programs out there that help with confidence. Lead to Success, Lead to Confidence. And I took the 6-week course. They consider it as like you graduated. So as me being one of the graduates, I'm able to refer people to go into the Lead to Confidence. I also follow them on Instagram. And it really helps when it comes to helping your confidence.
Nice.
Just bring it back up.
Okay.
So, and you're involved with other women in there that have gone through similar situations, and you don't have to show your face if you don't want to. Just as long as you get on and you can speak and whatnot. And there's times, other women that have gone through the similar situations also help you out with how they feel you're strong. And a lot. The good thing I got out of it is like, Cynthia, you're resilient.
Yeah.
You're grounding. You're resilient. You're just amazing. It's what you guys are telling me. I love it. I love it.
Is what determines how you're going to be in life. If you talk mean to yourself, if you put yourself down, if you're harsh on yourself, then what else do you expect? Because you constantly feel what you're saying. Words are very powerful. So when we speak kindly to ourselves and say, hey, Cynthia, you're resilient. Cynthia, you can do this. Cynthia, you're a badass.
And Cynthia does talk a lot to herself. I noticed throughout her story, she kept saying that she kept talking to herself, and I do that too. Like, you gotta do this, everything's gonna be fine, you're gonna get out of this, you've been through worse. It's
and when you think about it, you've survived 100% of your bad days. So what makes you think that you're not going to survive the rest?
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, I love it. And I almost don't want to stop the conversation, but if we need to.
I think this is the longest episode we've had, right?
Yes, definitely.
And I can keep going. Let's go. I'm kidding, but no, another day. We'll do it for another day.
Yes.
We can continue this conversation off the air, and we can go to King and Queens, get some drinks and dinner.
King and Queens, yes.
Oh, that'd be good. I went there for the first time.
All right.
Hi, Cynthia. Well, thank you so much for being on. You guys can find her on Instagram, and I'll leave some of her information, like her handles and stuff, on the description box. You guys can always go there. And Cynthia, we just want to thank you one last time, and we wish you the best. We cannot wait to meet you in person, girl.
I can't wait to give you a huge hug.
Yes.
Even though COVID, but I'm already vaccinated, so we're good.
I know, me too. Don't worry about
it. We're good. I can't wait to give you a huge hug, and I can't wait to hear more about you, and I can't wait to hear about you in 2 years, because I feel you're going to be in an amazing, I'm not saying 2 years, but in a few years, I'm sure everything's going to be great.
Where it needs to be. Yeah, I even created I made a vision board.
Yes.
Look at it all the time, and I'm like, you know what? In 5 years, I'm gonna make a new one.
Yes, girl.
Hopefully sooner than later.
Yes.
But patience is a virtue.
I love this. I love this experience. Yes.
All right, girl. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Wow, that was twinsy.
Yes.
That was amazing.
I need a bottle of tequila at this point.
Girl, my whole body is like tense because I wish I knew this guy, and I wish I could sock him in the throat.
I honestly, I had so much anxiety through this episode. It was just like, oh my gosh, and it keeps getting worse and worse. I thought there was gonna be like a good ending, and she's still basically living through it.
Yes, but I love that because
she's staying so positive, so energetic about it. So I love her. Like, she was great, and her energy is amazing.
Yes, you guys need to go and follow her on Instagram. If you know somebody that's going through domestic violence, try to be supportive as much as you can. I know it's very hard, and I really want to emphasize this. It's really hard for us to understand when we've never been through it.
Right.
But I think the only thing that we can do is just be there for them.
Yes, and if you have a story that's similar or different type of domestic violence, I mean, even though there's a lot of different stories out there, please contact us if you'd like to share your story. You can remain anonymous. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that suffer from this.
Yes. And it's nice to know that there's so many resources out there, because like I said, I didn't even know that. Almost like with the sexual assault stuff, I didn't know that there was so many resources out there that you could have an advocate in the room. So we're learning a lot ourselves.
Yes.
But we thank you so much for listening and tuning in, and we will be seeing you guys soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
I want to hear your story, or I want to support your small business. To do so, please go ahead and visit embracingmymarkings.com. Thank you for tuning in.